Just one generation after his father schemed his family in control of the empire, Georgios has turned himself into a living legend. His conquest of Syria and Jerusalem have both been a resounding success. And while he is an aging man, he shows no signs of slowing down, and Egypt is the next target in his sights. However, while the Abbasid Empire has thus far been an easy target for Georgios, there are rumours that Muslim leaders are considering banding together for a holy war of their own to reclaim the lands taken from them. On top of the threat of a united Muslim holy war, the Goliath to the west in the form of the Holy Roman Empire continues to expand its holdings, dominating almost all of Europe, and now even expanding its holdings inside of northern Africa. With each successful conquest of Georgios, he brings his empire closer to blows with the HRE. Look at how much the Byzantine Empire has grown. It is thriving under House Angelos. First on the agenda today is to actually go to our newly acquired themes, this is actually my son, and give them the directive to convert faith. We want to give this the same treatment that we gave Syria and convert it all to Orthodoxy. Now, we do have the decision to evangelize the realm, which will just immediately convert a ton of counties, but I think I will try and get Jerusalem manually if I can. Then what we're working on in the background is our new legend. If we can get this to 300 baronies, we're currently at 137, but if we can increase it to mythical quality and complete it, then we'll be able to reassert the holy mission for a second time and actually go to war with the Arabian Empire once more, this time for the Kingdom of Egypt. Once we take Egypt, that is when I will use my Evangelize the Realm decision. We'll convert all of Egypt in one go, as well as some of the remaining counties up here that have yet to be converted. We do have an excellent court poet, so I'm going to have him extol domestic legend. This will give us a plus 60% legend spread chance. On top of that, our court chronicler here, Basil, the actual historic character, can also extol our domestic legend for even more spread chance. Every now and then I get notifications of possible people to imprison. Now generally, if they're Orthodox and Greek, they get a pardon, that's all well and good, but whenever I can imprison them easily and they are either the wrong religion or the wrong culture, I will do so, revoke the title and give it out to an Orthodox Greek. Because while our primary focus is spreading Orthodoxy, we do in the background want to make sure that we are also converting culture to Greek. And as a matter of fact, while our themes have done a great job here of converting Syria to Orthodox, up next, I would like them to give a new directive to actually promote culture as well. I did mention at the end of the previous episode I was going to do some micro around the vassals. What I've primarily done, if I open up the vassal window here, is for any vassal in the center of the realm near the capital, they have been changed from a balanced type to a civilian type. What this means for us is that they will pay us more tax, we will get less levies from them, and their standing men-at-arms will be reduced. However, on top of the extra tax that we get, they are also incentivized to actually build some buildings in their actual holdings, as well as increase their overall development growth. I've paired this by giving them the directive to actually construct economic buildings. So the goal is that they will be our economic backbone in and around the capital as we expand outward. Other vassals around the borders of newly conquered territories, or the very scary HRE, have the frontier stance, making it a lot harder for them to be conquered in war. And in the future, I have done it already. I don't think we'll get any bonuses from it just yet, but I likely will give any themes that I trust the military admin. This makes it so that we get a lot less taxes, but a lot more levies from this actual theme. On top of that, there's lots of bonuses for the governor in holding more men at arms. So the goal in the long term is all of our core vassals here are our economy bonuses, vassals that we trust help buff out our military, and vassals on the edge are our frontier states. That's about it as far as internal management goes. The only other thing on our agenda is the succession of the Byzantine Empire. We are coming up on 50. We do have Know Thyself and Very High Learning, so I don't think we'll die anytime soon, but we will eventually want to keep an eye on the actual succession and see who from our family we want to succeed us. While we wait for our legend to continue to spread, I'm going to focus on upgrading both my estates. So we're going to go one tier higher in the marketplace, increase our powerful family rating, more influence gain when constructing buildings, and domicile income goes up by 0.4. On top of the estate though, we will be looking around at our different holdings and upgrading buildings in there also. Once we've maxed out all of the buildings in the primary holding, we'll also start to build some brand new holdings as well. The unfortunate news is that the Holy Roman Empire is not slowing down at all. There are very few kingdoms and duchies in between them and Russia. All we can hope for is some almighty war between these two that maybe we can swing the scales of power on to try and weaken the Holy Roman Empire from within. Because on top of that, they have expanded out their Northern African conquest as well, which we hate to see because this is where we're going next. Every time I marry off one of my daughters to a random count, just in the hope to get her out of the realm and get her dealt with, that count then realizes who he is allied to and calls me into wars every 5 minutes. I'm actually going to reject his call to war. It does mean we go down a level in prestige. Maybe it's not worth it. Typically I just accept and deal with it, but I don't want to get locked off from any decisions or doing certain things because of the "you are at war" buff when we have no influence over the war. Can marry my daughter off to the King of Navarre though. I see no harm in that. Once again, we can consolidate our rule for the extra legitimacy. Absolutely. Gather the people. I'd like it to be long, please. Plus 25%. Thank you. Now, I also had an excellent suggestion in a comment from a previous video around the land we need that Russia holds. Since they are our ally, war is somewhat out of the question, but what we can do is have our steward convince de jure territory. In this way, we can essentially convince Russia that this land should be ours, give it back to us. Once again, I'm being blackmailed for being a witch. Now, I think we're all in agreement that becoming a witch was a mistake. I didn't really know exactly how it worked. I thought we could just remove it somehow, but we can't remove it without exposing it. So instead, I roleplayed my way into it. We're going to roleplay our way out of it. Ultimately, as a young man, Georgios was tempted by the idea of becoming a witch to possibly try and gain more power. However, eventually, he saw the error of his ways and no longer practices. But because it's still a secret, no one else knows that, and he can't explain to the world that he doesn't practice it because that would expose the secret that he once did. So, we are still going to have to deal with getting blackmailed for it, but we are not going to use witch to our advantage. Realistically, I could just dev mode the fact that we are a witch out, but I don't want to do that. I feel like it hurts the integrity of the series, and I want... Oh, theme of Lebanon, thank you. I feel like it hurts the integrity of the series, and I don't want anybody to be under the impression that whenever something happens that I don't like, we're just going to dev mode it out and pretend it didn't happen. I want this to be as legit of a run as it can possibly be. So even though I don't like the fact that we're a witch, we are going to roleplay our way around it. Our legend is spreading nicely. We need around 90 more baronies and we'll be good to go. Another stewardship perk. Thank you very much. I will take the plus 10% domicile income. Thank you. I'm also going to upgrade my shrine to a chapel in our domicile. The more holy wars we'll be doing, the more piety is important, but also later on we can specialize into family graveyard, church, or monastery, all with different bonuses. This is about all we can upgrade right now, and it's a little far behind the others, so we will upgrade this to level 2. We have the ability to invest in a jeweler's workshop, which would not only give us an increase to prestige, but also plus 10% holding taxes in Byzantium for 30 years. Yes, please. Renewed Jihad. The House of Islam is under a grave threat from the onslaught of heathens and infidels in its very heartlands. In response, Caliph Khalil has declared that an era of renewed jihad is upon the world. This could be the beginning of unprecedented Muslim aggression. Saint George protect us. Yeah, that's not good. That's not good. I highly suspect that that could end up targeting us, but for now, we're just going to keep moving. Our new head of faith is much more proactive and is excommunicating people what looks to be every month. This time, though, I see his reasons. We have a comfort eater, who's also a murderer, and a familial kinslayer, who has now been excommunicated. I've discovered my son Justinian's lover secret. Oh, I don't even want to get involved with this. It just means that you likely won't be the next emperor, my friend. Although that was unlikely anyway. Oh, and now you want to be co-emperor? I don't think so. I don't think so. Interestingly, one of my daughters can be married off to the King of Moldavia. Now, he's currently under Tsar Fedor of Russia, who is his emperor, but I think I will take this marriage, to be honest. Could come in useful later, and still better than marrying her off to either a nobody or a different theme that could come back to haunt us. One of my vassals over here just took it upon himself to head over and grab the one piece of land over here that Khazaria didn't hold. Fair enough, my friend. Now, the game is telling me that it's a good time to grant one of my children to be co-emperor. However, I'm not going to do that yet. Even though I've already placed some of my other sons in strong positions of power, They're still a bit too old for me. I don't want to inherit the throne and already be 50. I would much rather give it to either Clement or Daniel, so I might wait until they're a bit older and then make them co-emperor. We have a plague, camp fever, that is getting dangerously close to the capital. We do have mild epidemic prevention, which is fantastic to see. I am going to isolate the capital nonetheless, though. I don't want myself or any of my young children to die to this. That would severely derail my plans. Good news, our legend is now at 300 baronies, and we can increase its quality. We just need the gold to do so. To help us get there, I'm going to take the people who are currently promoting it and take them off of it, which puts us from 13 gold a month back up to 37. Oh, this is a new event, the fate of a princess. There is a distinct buzz at court today. Shameful. Gossip does not benefit this stately hall. Poor Cecilia, alone among these Russian barbarians, a fate worse than death. Yet I clearly recognize my wife and my son gossiping in the corner. As I fixate my severe gaze upon them, they are immediately silent, but I've heard enough to know the exact topic of their exchange. So this is because I've married Cecilia off to the Russian, the king of Moldavia. I can say the political needs of the empire supersede the individual and gain politics before all. My vassals won't like it, except for the minority vassals. I will get +1 diplomacy, though. I can say her shining example of Christian sacrifice is always in my prayers, and we get sacrifices for our people. Or it's not for you to judge an emperor. Honestly, I like Christian sacrifice. I think that makes sense as well. Different culture opinion goes down, but clergy, glory hound, and zealot vassal opinion goes up. Absolutely. Also, it's not that bad. He's only impatient, lustful, a flamboyant trickster, and a fornicator. She'll be fine. I do also need to be careful. It looks like Akia has picked up a county over here in northern Africa. Now, I do believe it's because... No, you're just civilian. You're not even naval or anything, but you've gone and done that anyway. Okay, just be careful, please. We now have one county in between the two pieces of land that the Holy Roman Empire holds, and the person who holds the land in between us is currently under attack by the Holy Roman Empire. Another historical character, Peter the Stratopedarches, I think. Notable 10th century military commander and eunuch, was abundant in bodily strength, played a crucial role in the reign of Emperor Basil II, particularly during the revolt led by General Bardas Skleros. Oh, you helped out in a revolt against House Skleros? You can serve me well. Foreign ruler now speaks Greek. Who is this? You speak Greek down here. How did that happen? Oh, a lot of them speak Greek. Okay. We'll take here Geld next. 10% vassal contribution. Absolutely. And with that, we can finally increase the quality of our legend. It is now mythical, and we can complete it in 6 months. Plague is over, so we can also end the capital isolation. I am getting notifications every 2 seconds of my family fighting over succession here. Currently, it's Martin the Corrupt, my half-brother. He's gone up on 1,000 score, which is pretty scary because while I have a lot of influence, I still also have a cap on how much I can actually support somebody. So co-emperor is going to have to do a lot of the heavy lifting here as well. It is also a bit of the trade-off, I suppose. I mean, if we look at my family rating, ridiculous. 2 times that of the second most powerful family. But it does come at the cost of all of my sons who have a land are now fighting over being the next emperor. I'm going to marry my other daughter, Viviana, off to the Kingdom of Denmark, because why not? Here we go. We can finally complete our legend. Yes, please. So we're going to build another legendary shrine somewhere else. I've also reasserted the Holy Mission, so we are ready to go for Egypt. We actually did that in under 5 years. We still have 5 months left on the truce. That's fine, though. It gives us some time to build up our power even more. Lower Bosnia wants to be a vassal. Haven't seen this in a while. Welcome in, my friend. It is time to go for our 3rd holy war against the Abbasids. This time for Egypt, we're going to declare and let's go for it. 35,000 troops versus 4,000. The only frustrating part about this is just how big our border is. They could kind of come from anywhere. Technically, they border us up here as well as down here into Egypt. I'm going to focus on the war goal, though. Try and siege that down. If an army appears somewhere that we need to deal with, we will send part of our army back, just like last time. Now, I also want to point out that when we take Egypt, we will be quite a bit closer to making this decision to reinstate the grain dole. This will make chariot races half the cost. We'll get a bunch of legitimacy, prestige, as well as some influence, and we will also get this buff inside of Byzantium. So for each granary that we build in Egypt up to a max of 10, it will increase the development growth, popular opinion, and plague resistance in the capital. Ultimately, we're using the rich, fertile lands of Egypt to enable enable us to give either free or price-controlled bread out to our people, which, as you can imagine, they will like quite a bit. We need to take Egypt first, which we're currently doing, and then at least 3 counties in the region need to have a granary built. Now, while I am at war at Egypt over here, still no sign at all of the Abbasid army, just some adventurer bands to the north here, nothing to worry about. We do have another plague spreading from the exact same place as last time. This is Basilius Georgios Boils. It is measles. I am going to isolate the capital once again. No risks. And by no risks, I mean we're going to mitigate the risks, because everybody in my family could still die horribly of measles. Oh, here we go. An army showed up and now they're leaving again. Fair enough. Oh, no way. Alliance expired. Fedor died. Who's taking his place over in Russia? Tsar Arnbjorn Fyodorovich of Russia, also a conqueror, and because he's tribal, he has a massive army. They've just been beefing it out with Khazaria back and forth for the past, like, 20 years. Now, our war is still going smoothly, and we're still making 50 gold a month while at war. Still no sign of the enemy army, so I'm actually going to begin to build some more holdings. I want to put some cities down and get even more income. Look at this. We are now sieging down the county that holds the pyramids themselves. We started as just a count in Achaea, and now our dynasty is leading men next to the pyramids. 82% and still no sign of a hostile army. I think the Abbasids are just too busy dealing with everything. Only 2,000 troops. They're fighting in 2 other wars. We just constantly are catching them at a weak point. To be honest, I think we put them in a permanent weak point after our first war. A prisoner in my own body. We have gained the trait infirm and 30 stress because we are diligent. We are coming near the end of our life. I mean, possibly, but we're certainly coming near the end of our good life with all of these debuffs. The unfortunate thing is that does put us below our domain limit because of all of those debuffs. If we put our wife on managed domain, does that help? Yep, that gets us there. Thank God for you. All right, come on, one more siege. There it is. Not even a battle. Not even a battle, and we have taken the Kingdom of Egypt. Alexandria reconquered. Same as before, we have restored a pentarchy seat for all of those buffs. A glorious day for all Romans. Look at that. Look at the amount of purple on the map now. Now we're talking. Now, I've been handing off lots of the land here, making some themes. I am going to give my nephew Alexandria, so at least one member of my dynasty has some land in Egypt. I'm going to make sure that we expel every adventure that we've created by taking over this kingdom, considering that they're all our rivals. Okay, all the themes have been handed out and they're all given their directive to convert religion. I think I will evangelize the realm now. The truth will prevail. No harm in that. And I'm also going to make sure that we upgrade the farms and fields buildings up to tier 5 here, which is the granaries, which is when we can take the dole decision. Now, we probably need some innovations before we can do this, but we will make sure that we upgrade them to kind of speed that along as well. After evangelizing the realm, things are looking a lot more consistent. And even down here now, there's still some counties in Egypt that need to be converted, but very few of them. We also now hold every single Orthodox holy site except for the Vatican. We also picked up quite a nice inventory artifact in Egypt as well. Renown, prestige, piety, and plus 10% domain taxes of the same faith. Thank you very much. Okay, after all of those conquests, where does that leave us in terms of Theodosian borders? There are still some land over here that we'll need to take off of the Abbasids, which is fine. Over here, we will need to possibly go to war with the Holy Roman Empire just for this piece of land in northern Africa, and we're still convincing de jure territory over here to get this bit of land back. So realistically, it means one more war with the Abbasids, and our first war with the Holy Roman Empire. Overall, though, things are looking quite strong. In terms of who we want to maybe elevate as co-emperor, I think it may actually be Clement. He is a very decent character, ambitious. Arbitrary is non-ideal. Temperate is nice though, also virtuous. Adequate bargainer, born in the purple. He's already a strategos. I didn't give him this theme, he picked it up himself. And a warlike courtier. Clement also likes me quite a bit, so I think I will elevate him. I think he's already proven himself, the fact that without my help, he managed to pick up a theme for himself. So he will be our new co-emperor. I think it makes a ton of sense, especially now that we are infirm. A co-emperor can only really help us. I will, of course, then pay the 1,300 influence to get him into first place. and we'll keep an eye on this going forward, making sure that we keep him as our #1 successor. And with that, I'm going to leave this episode here. But what a legacy Georgios has laid out for himself. He's not dead yet. He is infirm, and we're going to start paying a lot more attention to our new heir. But even still, 3 Kingdom tier holy wars, all of them a success, taking almost all of the Abbasids' land. We will need to go to war with them once more. Hopefully we can do that with Georgios, just to really make him the bane of the Abbasids. But we are now ridiculously close to phase 1 of our plan to restore Theodosian borders. It will take some time to reclaim these lands up here in Russia. It's very slow to convince de jure territory, but that will work for us. We'll have one more war with the Abbasids, and then somehow try and deal with the Holy Roman Empire. That's going to be a messy one, because there are so many different areas that they could attack us along. But we will figure out a way. He's also still a conqueror. That is incredible. That's all something to be dealt with in the next episode, though. As always, thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment any suggestions, subscribe if you want to see more and support the channel. Have a great day, and I will see you all in the next video.